there, I'm Jamie Taylor. Welcome to Your Health Matters, brought to you by Kingman Regional Medical Center, your not-for-profit, community-owned hospital. This program is all about providing answers to your questions about health care. We're going to give you information about services and programs right here at KRMC. I've got a great guest on my show today that's got lots of information about breast health, so I hope you'll stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Your Health Matters. My guest today is Shelly Rodriguez, and she's a new employee here at Kingman Regional. Thanks for being on the show, Shelly.
Thank you.
So when did you start? It's not been very long.
I've been here a month.
A month, all right. Time flies, right?
Yeah.
And you've hit the ground running. So now remind me again, what exactly is your title?
Breast Health Navigator.
Breast Health Navigator. And we'll talk in depth about that, but just briefly, what that means is you're kind of there to help women as they come through from beginning to end in their process of dealing with both mammography and if positive results are found, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And all the way through that process.
That whole process.
Cancer Center as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been at KRMC for a month, but how long have you been in Kingman?
I was actually born in Kingman.
You were?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
And I was a previous employer of Kingman Regional when I first graduated from nursing school about 12 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. So you've lived in Kingman your entire life? You
Yes.
grew up and went to high school here? And
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, did you go through MCC for the nursing program too?
Yes.
Wow. So just last week we had Eve Cardiff on the show, and she's a recent graduate from MCC in the nursing program, and she shared quite a bit with her experience. So how long ago did you graduate?
12 years.
Oh,
ago,
okay.
yeah.
So you knew it back then. She was talking about with the new facility, with the new labs they have here now and stuff. But so then you were in nursing. What kind of nursing did you do?
Initially I came to the hospital here and worked on med-surg for a year, and then I found out right when I graduated that I was pregnant. So after I had my little guy, I just worked part-time, so that's why I went out and worked in different facilities part-time, and arranging all the way from cath lab to outpatient surgery I did a lot of different things.
Great, very good. Yeah. So you have lots of experience, but so now you're all about breast health.
Yes.
Yeah, and what brought you to that position? What made you decide to apply for that?
5 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I've been with her through the whole process and seen what she's been through and all the different things that she's had to go through to be where she is today.
So she's in recovery.
Yeah. Kind of. They get her in remission occasionally.
Remission. I'm not always good at using the right terminology, so that's good. So that's great, and not great, it's sad that you've had to have that, but at the same time, that gives you that empathy with the women when they come through. You've kind of
I know how scary it is from the initial you might have breast cancer to yes, it is breast cancer, and how that feels. It's
right, and then what do we do? What are our options?
Yeah,
it's a scary diagnosis when you first get it.
Right.
And then I guess I really feel that we're blessed here in Kingman because we do have that state-of-the-art technology for diagnosis.
Exactly.
Catching it early. So the tomography, obviously that's our newest.
The breast tomosynthesis machine is wonderful.
Okay.
I am very impressed with it, and Dr. Johansson, because of the 3D dimension it has, it's catching cancer so much earlier. And I've learned a lot just in the last month.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great, and it's been picking up a lot of things from suspicions to positive to negative. But at least these women are knowing when they come in whether it's something to worry about or not something to worry about. Right. So it's given them a lot of peace of mind either way. So they catch it right away and they know that, hey, there's some help out there. And
that's super. Well, we have, and of course, catch it early. That phrase is something that we, Terry Williams, who works with me in the public relations, kind of coined that phrase a few years ago to help us when we were doing programs to get women in early for their mammograms, obviously to catch it early, because the sooner we find it, the better the chances are for recovery or to go into remission, right?
Right, yeah. And, it's amazing how all the care we have in Kingman, it is just, I just am amazed that I didn't even realize it was available here. And the new oncologist here is wonderful, and she's on top of breast cancer. She knows, she can rattle off all that stuff right away. She knows what she's doing. Sure. And so I help with these women that are scared. I tell them, even if it is something, you catch it now. I'll help you through the process. And then you'll be okay.
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
in good
amazing.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
amazing,
great.
so.
Well, and I know that your position was funded through a grant that Terry was able to get through the National Breast Cancer Foundation, which we're very blessed to get that, and that's giving us the opportunity to have this position that we've never had before. It's brand new. So you're kind of the guinea pig and building the job as you go kind of thing, right?
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I think part of it too is going to be outreach. Am I right? You're going to be out
it's a big
in the
part
community,
of it,
right? Talking to helping educate women, getting them in.
Yeah, when I haven't been to a lot of outreach, I've done a couple, and I'm actually been in the process of planning more outreach programs to get out there and explain to them the importance not only of getting the breast exams, but the help that's out there. If they're not able to have insurance that covers it, or their deductible is really high, then there's a lot of women that don't realize that there's programs out there that can help them through the financial part of it, and so they don't have to just ignore it and say, well, I can't afford this, I don't have time for it,
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons probably that women put off having the mammography done. And we should have our first one done at 30, right? Isn't that what they say?
Actually, it's 40.
40? Okay.
They say 40 unless unless you have a history or, a big family history, or if you
find something that suspicious,
if you
a lump
see
or
a lump
something.
or something.
Right. Okay, so 40, and then it's at 50. So is it every 10 or every 5 years?
Nope, it's 40 every year.
Oh, every year after that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another reason probably that if women don't have insurance, and of course nowadays with our economic times, there's probably a lot of us out there that don't have insurance, or they have really high deductibles.
Yes.
And we have the Catch It Early program that's designed to help those women, right? And the Well Woman Health Check program is also another option.
Yes, that's a great program. I just actually talked to the lady that's in charge of that yesterday in Lake Havasu, and it's a great program because with all the cuts from the access that they've been doing, a lot of women don't have any insurance if they don't have a child living at home. So we want to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks and just decide, well, I'm not going to get my health check and get my mammogram or whatever.
Right.
So
Well, and like we said, because if they get in and get it caught early, they can get it done with a lot of times it's the simpler procedures, and and live. That's obviously. I mean, I think breast cancer, I've heard, is one of the highest success cancers as far as finding.
It's getting better all the time too.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. And with the Well Woman Health Check program, like I said, I believe they also do Pap tests with that as well.
They do Pap, and I just found out they do colonoscopies for
I didn't know that.
people 50 and over. Yeah, I didn't know that either till yesterday.
Wow, so they really can. It covers that whole
program.
That is awesome. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But now, if someone had questions about this program, would they call you and you'd be able to answer those questions for them?
Yes, they could call me at the Kingman Regional.
So we'll get that number for them maybe later in the show. And they can also go to our website, azkrmc.com, and that gives them information, I know, about both our cancer center and the imaging center. I mean, we have the diagnostics all the way through treatment available here at Kingman Regional. Right?
Yes.
And you were talking about Dr. Nagel, our new oncologist, and Dr. Johansson, and then they have a whole team that's there supporting them.
They have surgeons, they have all kinds. You could get it all taken care of here in great care. My main job, of course, like I was going to say, when my mom got diagnosed, the minute you hear the word cancer, everything that the doctor or anybody tells that patient after that is just out in one ear and out the other, because that word cancer you just panic and you forget. Okay, you get home. What do I do now? What did they say? You know.
Right.
And so that's where I come in. I give them my card, my business card, and I let them know that from the minute they're diagnosed that they can call me, and I'll help them through the steps and make sure they get through the process in a timely manner, and make sure they get into the surgeon right away, the oncologist right away, whatever they need to do.
Oh, Shelly,
So
that's
that
great.
Their odds of survival, it increases with time, you know.
Sure, right. Well, and I think you're right. I can just, I guess, only imagine in my head what it'd be like, but almost like a sensory overload. Like you said, when you hear that diagnosis, everything else goes out the window, and you're just internalizing and thinking, and so you're not paying attention really to what the doctor's saying. So that's so great that you're going to be there for them. Yeah, and that's, you know, basically become a friend.
Yeah, I'll be there to support them through anything during the whole process, even after. You know, I'm going to start a support group for women, and so.
Yeah, and I know we already have a couple of cancer support groups that Joe Stevens, the case manager, does, but then this is going to be another one, so there'll be even more out there. That support is, I think, really critical to both how a person deals with the cancer and their treatment. And then we've talked about, Dr. Nagel and I talked about how important that positive attitude is on your recovery.
Yes.
You know, and how you deal with it all, that maintaining that positive attitude.
It's very important. And if for some reason they were having a hard time or got depressed, you know, we have people available to help them with that. And
well, you have a whole team at the Cancer Center. I think you even have a nutritionist, right?
Yes.
That'll help them with their diet.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess I never thought about the fact that your diet will impact how you recover.
Yeah, even chemotherapy, there's a special diet for people on chemotherapy because, you know, it makes them sick a lot of times, or they need extra nutrients and this or that to help their bodies, a lot of protein, you know, to help.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have a nutritionist that knows all that stuff.
Great.
She's great.
That's super. Well, I know I've shared before when Joe and with Dr. Nagel how blessed I feel we are in our community to have a cancer center here, that so people don't have to leave home when they're sick. I mean, you've always said when you're sick and then what your treatment's going to make you feel sicker, last place you want to be is in a hotel room. So we'll talk about that more in just a minute. We've got a few messages for you. I hope you'll stay tuned and we'll learn more about what Shelly's doing in our community.